And we are live back in the building for another match preview. Welcome to Pros Only TV. You're here with myself, Roland. I've got my guy Darren coming in a minute. I'm going to see where he's at. But we're doing a preview for the United Chelsea game at the Bridge tomorrow, 4:30. Don't know what's going to happen. We're going to discuss everything right now. You're locked in with Pros Only TV. Let's go.
Drop a can.
Yes, people. Yes, people. We are back in the building for another match preview, Chelsea versus United. But before we break anything down, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that notification bell, share this video with a friend, hit the socials and all of that. But yes, the game is tomorrow, 4:30 kickoff at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. But we've got a lot to talk about tonight, man. This is going to be a big game. Obviously, Man United's game last week in the Premier League was Ollie's last game. We lost against Watford 4-1. Very, very, very tough watching. I watched that game last week and I was just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing on the pitch. All these players, like the level of our players, we shouldn't be playing like that. We shouldn't be getting packed in like Watford like that. I thought we would win that game as well, but I don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened. I'm just trying to see where my guy Darren is. I don't know where he's at. He should be here right now. I don't know what's going on. But we have to wait and see. But yeah, I think he'll be in a minute. But so I mean, yeah, that was a pretty difficult game to watch. Obviously, it led to the sacking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And obviously, then the preceding events, obviously Michael Carrick taking over as the caretaker, whilst the club was looking for an interim manager. It looks like everything has been agreed. I don't know if Man United even made the official announcement yet. I think they're waiting. I was speaking to one of my guys yesterday, and I was like, I feel they're gonna wait until after the Chelsea game. So if we win, then it's good news on top of good news. If we lose, it's good news after the bad news, you know what I mean? So I feel like they're waiting on that announcement. Also, I feel like they're just working out the work permit situation with Ralf Rangnick, so that on Monday he can officially be unveiled and all of that type of stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, man, I'm interested to see Michael Carrick's final game in charge, how that's all going to pan out. Obviously, I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a free hit for the players. But at the same time, I feel like it's also an audition for some of the players as well at our disposal because, Ralf Rangnick is definitely going to be watching the game. He's going to be able to assess already from just being there, not even on a training field, but just watching the game and how these players are playing to be able to know who's going to be in his starting lineup for that game against Arsenal, which will be on Thursday, I believe it is. So, yeah. But yeah, United losing 4-1 to Watford last time out, just not great viewing. There was a bit of a spark in the second half by Jadon Sancho and Donny van de Beek linking up and all of that. Donny van de Beek maybe not getting a couple of assists, a couple of Ronaldo chances that he missed. But apart from that, defensively we were shocking all day. Harry Maguire getting sent off just kind of like, putting it into a really bad situation. And yeah, man, I'm just like, wow, how he was able to lose that game. And in the preceding events after that, now Michael Carrick and Charles getting his first win against Villarreal, beating them 2-0 in the midweek in the Champions League. And then obviously moving into this game, I watched his press conference, Michael Carrick's one yesterday. He actually sounded very assured of himself, which is refreshing to see, where it's like it's not somebody who's second guessing himself like how Ollie was. I didn't watch a lot of Ollie press conferences, but you could tell when journalists would ask key questions, he would stutter and he would, kind of not figure out like what the question is being asked and maybe give the wrong answer. But Michael Carrick was just very focused, very professional. He was just like, okay, I've got one game in front of me right now. That's the only thing I'm focusing on right now. Anything in the future that you want to discuss, because they kept coming at him with the Ralf Rangnick questions. And like, of course, he knows the news, he knows what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure somebody's told him about the situation and what's happening. But he was just very focused on, we got the game against Chelsea on Sunday. I've been focused on that all week, plus the Villarreal game, just preparing the team so that they can go into those games and get the results that they need. And so it's just refreshing to have like somebody a bit more confident in that hot seat when talking to the journalists. So I mean, you know, it's pretty interesting to kind of see all of that go on. But yeah, I think that now you know, we're heading into this game. I just have a feeling that it's going to be a bit of a refresh, a bit of a refresh in the Premier League now. Even with Michael Carrick in charge, I just think that there's a bit of a weight lifted off some of these players' shoulders. I feel like, you know, having the manager there who I think a lot of those players didn't actually really believe in, you know, in his methods anymore. It just meant that, you know, they were going into the games and they were just going through the motions. I think despite the fact that there's the same coaching staff still around the club, you know, the players they know that they have to kind of now get themselves up. I think it's been a bit of a mess with Michael Carrick and McKenna and Phelan still being around whilst Ollie's gone. It is a pretty big mess by the club. I don't know if that indicates that those guys are going to stick around with Ralf Rangnick coming in with his assistant and whoever else he decides to bring in. I'm sure he's going to be bringing in some video analysts. I know he's going to be bringing in for sure some fitness coaches because of the style that play that they want to play. You need to make sure that you have the right type of fitness coach around. But yeah, man, I'm not too sure what's going to happen on in that regard. But yeah, the players are going to have to just go out there and perform as well as they can. Obviously, we're going up against the league leaders currently right now, or I don't know what happened with Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool won today, so I don't know if that's affected. Well, yeah, Chelsea are still the league leaders, but only by a point. So tomorrow they're going to really need to win the game to try and extend that lead heading into this now busy Christmas period that we're about to see from the start of December. So, you know, I'm just curious to see what the team performance is going to be like, and all of that. In terms of United's form, you know, we've only got 1 win and 4 losses in our last 5 games in the league, and that's poor. In the form table currently right now, if we're basing off the last 5 games, we're 18th in the table, relegation form. It's just not good enough for Man United to be in that kind of state. And like moving forward now, I'm just like, look, we've got a clean slate with a new interim manager right till the end of the season. Let's try and pick up as many wins as possible. I mean, you know, how many games in? We're 12 games in the league. We've got 26 games left to go. Let's try and pick up as many wins as possible, because if we don't do that, it's just going to be a bit of a struggle for us to get top 4. And I feel like really and truly the aim is top 4 for the rest of the season. I can't see us getting any more than that. That's what we should aim for. If we get anything more than that, it's a bonus for the club. Let's get into a comment before we move on. Big up, my bro. What are you saying? See, predictions. We'll come to predictions in a minute, bro. We'll come to predictions in a minute. I'm just waiting for my guy Darren to come in. I don't know what's going on. He's a bit late right now because we got a lot to talk about in regards to this. In regards to this Chelsea, let me just give him a little nudge because he just seems to be lost right now. I don't know where he's at. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So we'll move on. So you know, Carrick being the caretaker right now, as I mentioned before, will it be a bit of a free hit for the players? Yes, because, you know, like, of course, big game against Chelsea, you know, the league leaders, you know, but we're not expected to win the game. So we're not going to be under much pressure anyway, I don't believe. From that standpoint, the players will be under pressure. The players will be under pressure, I believe, because they've got the incoming interim manager Ralf Rangnick watching pretty much their every move on the field, and they have to perform to see if they can be in that first 11 against Arsenal coming up on Thursday. So I'm interested to see how some of these players will work. I feel like we'll get into lineups and all of that. We'll get into lineups and whatnot in a little bit, but I feel like, you know, players like Jadon Sancho, Fred, are going to be key. Rashford will be key tomorrow. I feel like Ronaldo will start again. And I think that's going to be a very interesting situation as well with Ronaldo and his position in the team moving forward under the new manager. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. I feel like, yes, it is a free hit in that regard, but they have to perform because they've got an incoming manager who they need to be able to make a good impression on to make sure that they make into that first 11. And at the same time, I feel like, it's going to be interesting for some of the fan favorites, the Luke Shaws, the Harry Maguires and whatnot, Aaron Wan-Bissakas. They have, I don't feel like some of these guys have the capability of being able to be in a side like a Ralf Rangnick, high pressing, high energy type of side. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with those players. I don't think that Harry Maguire is going to, lose the captaincy, for example. But it would be a bold statement of Ralf Rangnick to come in as the interim and say, you know what, Harry, you're not going to be the captain moving forward. We're going to give it to X player. So I don't know what's going to happen there. For me, I mean, the Michael Carrick situation, I already said I wish we kind of got our ducks in order very early on after that Ollie thing happened. So after the Ollie sacking, I thought that we should have just given him one game, 100% record. He can leave, and leave with his head held high. But I feel like the club have other plans with Michael Carrick. I feel like he's been nurtured under two managers now. He's had about 4 years experience in that coaching staff as under Mourinho and then obviously under Ollie. And I feel like the club have other plans for him and they're going to try and keep him in and around the club. I don't know what capacity, but with the view that they may want him to be the manager one day. I don't know. Maybe not right now or within the next 5 years, but they may want him to go away after this experience, go and prove himself somewhere and come back. I don't know. I feel like Ralf Rangnick may even mentor him a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a potential there. I feel like McKenna and Phelan, they're kind of spare parts. I don't think that they're going to be able to fit into this new regime that's going to be coming under United. And I'm going to be interested to see what's going to happen in regards to some of the wider structure within the club from the footballing side, where you've got scouts who've been there from previous managers. You've got fitness coaches that have been there from previous managers. There's fitness coaches and whatnot. Yeah. So like, I don't know what's going to happen with some of these, some of these other staff within the wider team for the footballing side. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm interested to see what's going to happen there with all of that. And as I said, United's form, 1 win in the last 4, which is poor for United. And our fixtures after the Arsenal game, they look very favourable. And let me just run through those real quick so that you can get a perspective of what our fixtures are looking like after the Arsenal game. So after the Arsenal game, play Palace on the 5th of December. We play Norwich on the 11th of December, Brentford on the 14th of December, Brighton, then Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves, Villa, and then West Ham. Like that looks like, well, before that West Ham game, it looks like a bit more of a favourable run for United in that instance. And I feel like it's going to be a very favourable run for Ralf Rangnick to step into and try and build some consistency and get some good runs of results. In terms of his style, I don't know how quickly he's going to be able to implement it. We may not see the true result of all of it until probably end of January, maybe. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. There were also some good reports as well that we heard last night where Martial and Van der Beek are putting their plans on hold. In terms of leaving in January. So, there's a lot of positivity coming in with Ralf Rangnick's arrival, but we have to wait and see. Big up C says, remember when LVG came in with high intensity training sessions and everyone started getting injured? I won't be surprised if that happens on the Rangnick due to poor coaching from prior managers. Yeah, 100%, bro. I remember that as well. I feel like, the intensity of the sessions is going to be interesting for someone like Luke Shaw. Like Luke Shaw's had problems with several managers in regards to his general fitness. And like I feel like this could happen again under Ralf Rangnick, and this time you can't really say it's he's picking on him or he's bullying him like how people were saying under Mourinho. I feel like this is something that within him as a professional he's just not got right over his career. 7 years he's been at United, close to 8 now. I don't know what's going to happen with him, man. I feel like the team will, depending on the players he picks, because I mean, if he picks the players that generally press anyway, like Fred's, Sancho's, Rashford can do it, Cavani does it, Bruno does it. If you pick those kind of players, and Donny does it as well, and even Lingard to a certain extent. If you pick those kind of players in the side, it should be more. They should be able to adapt to it a little bit more. It's the other side of it where, from a defensive side, the shape, I'm like struggling to see, if certain players are going to fit into that, like Maguire's and Luke Shaw's and whatnot. But give me a second, guys. I just need to make sure that Darren is doing his thing. Where is he? Yeah, he said he's on his way right now. So we'll just wait for him to come in. But yeah, like I feel like the intensity of the training sessions are going to be a bit more difficult for some of these players to adapt to. Some players I feel like they're just going to fall straight into it. As I said, Sancho is gonna be cooking under Rangnick. So I can't wait to see the player that we all thought. Well, I knew he was going to be coming. He's going to come good anyway because of his ability. But I'm not too sure. I mean, I know for a fact that Rangnick is going to do the business, and he's going to be able to make sure that the players that we want to shine. I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Anthony Martial as well, because a lot of people have kind of written him off. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what he's going to do. I feel like he is an intelligent footballer, because you've seen it from some of the plays that he makes. I mean, like when you looked at that season when he top scored, a lot of his goals were, the movement for some of his goals was actually very good. Like he would peel off to the left and come back inside with the ball. And I just want to see him get back to that. How it works under this new manager, I have to wait and see. Spot on about Luke. Fred will make or break his career under Rangnick. I just think Fred's going to do really well. I mean, those 2 goals that he kind of broke up play for against Villarreal to kind of get the move started for those 2 goals. They was that was some good play, and I feel like he's gonna be key if Ralf Rangnick goes with a double pivot in midfield, and you're gonna see him really shine in that team. But yeah, I feel like that's gonna be real good. And Darren is in right now. Let me just bring my man in. What are you saying, Darren? You good, bro?
Hello. Oh, sorry, apologies for
Nah, it's
today. I
all
had
good.
something come up there last second.
Yeah, no problem, bro. It's all good.
Can you hear me
But
fine?
yeah, I can hear you. I feel like I can hear a bit of an echo though.
Echo, yeah.
Just
Yeah. Wait, give me a second. Actually,
no problem, bro. But it's cool now. It's cool now. I'm gonna ask you a question, bro, just to kick us all off. So what do you make of Chelsea's current league form? 4 wins and a draw in the last 5. Give me a rundown, bro.
ooh, 4 wins, and a draw. Do let me know if my mic is going
Nah,
up
your
fine.
mic,
Yeah.
your mic's calm. It's calm.
Okay, calm. In terms of recent league form, I believe we've been, up there with the best. I don't know who else is. Maybe Liverpool, maybe the likes of City. I think we've been top notch. I don't think I've seen, I guess maybe, like I said, City or maybe Liverpool. There might be another club up there as well in terms of recent league form, but
Yeah.
we've been unstoppable. I think the attacking football we've shown, the balance is there as well with the defense. At the back as well, clean sheets after clean sheets. I think I might sound biased, but I just feel like we look top notch right now.
Yeah. I hear you. Give me your thoughts on Ralf Rangnick as a rival, because when the news dropped, I already know you was in some spaces on Twitter and man were talking, doing their 1-2. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Ralf Rangnick's arrival?
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Initially, when when you lot had the whole, I think after the first big loss you lot had, was it against Liverpool?
Yeah.
When I thought you lot were gonna sack him the first time and Conte was available, I was like, you know what? Like these lot just missed out on Conte. Like they should have went. They messed up. They didn't put their eye on the ball. They started moving slow, like the typical Glazers. They're slow to act. But it's crazy how Man U just always do this somehow. Like it's like the right thing happens for Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? No matter how bad stuff gets, it's like the universe just puts stuff in place. And honestly, because I heard about this guy beforehand already, and I was like, you know, this guy's sort of like he's like the Bielsa to your Pochettinos and whatnot. And he was that guy for Klopp and Tuchel, isn't it? So when I seen that's come through, and not only is he obviously going to be the interim, he's going to get this new role within your board, I'm hearing. Afterwards. I'm just here like, oh my God, man, this is not what we wanted. We wanted Man U to stay down there, innit? So, but you know, you guys, I think he's a wonderful appointment. In terms of, you know, just coaching in general. If you've looked at this guy's CV, if you haven't heard about this guy, if you haven't done your research, best believe that you know, obviously, if you know about the philosophies of football, this Gegenpressing, he was one of the, you know, he was the guy to do it before Klopp. Before some of these other guys, you know, he was the one that inspired or pushed some of these things. So this guy, if you're just looking at the basics of coaching, you know he's going to demand certain things, the bare minimum. You will see for the first time, if you're a Man U fan, proper coaching. You will now understand what it means for players to be, you know, drilled, serious attention, you know? But, he'll be a great appointment, I think, man.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, for me, like, I'm just like, this is now United stepping into 21st century type of thing. United 2.0. No more of this United DNA and Fergie, all of this type is finished now. Like, we are now stepping into where Chelsea have stepped into, City have been, where Liverpool have been. Like, now we're stepping in and putting our hat in the ring and saying, okay, we're modernizing the way we play football. And there's a guy who's had the knowledge and he's got the experience and has built clubs from the ground up to come in and do this for Man United and sort out the mess that has been happening since Fergie left. So, I mean, all right, but you saying all of that, you know, you've said, you know, he's this wonderful guy, this, that, and the other, yeah. Are you worried or cautious about future competition for United? Because obviously this next 6 months has for him as interim, we're not gonna see much of like an improvement. I feel like you get a slight upturn, so maybe 10%, 20% just on the field. If it's better than that, then then that's amazing. But I'm not gonna say we're gonna be like winning the league. I feel like it's between yourselves and Liverpool, really, and City too. But for future competition, are you worried like about this appointment? Now he moves upstairs and he's now making key decisions about how we do things moving forward. Are you worried, bro?
I'll be honest, yeah. Some people might think I'm being reactionary or being, you know, oh, you're just like over the top. I've always personally said maybe it's the trauma that I've had as a young person watching football, watching this bloody team dominate in the league for a long time. I've always said Manchester United have been a sleeping giant. Obviously, I know the Glazers haven't been, you know, we all know they haven't been the greatest. They've been slow tight. They've been, you know, guys who are shackling the club back. However, if I look at, let's say, you know, I don't want to credit them with anything because they've been useless. But when I still look at the money spent, I guess I feel like maybe somebody in the club or certain people in the club are still trying to push for something. There's still that sort of, we want to do well, I guess, in some elements of your game. When I look at the players bought as, you know, the likes of Sancho, I don't imagine he's just come in to chill for 5 years. I know obviously he's getting paid well, but I don't think he's just come to chill. I look at Ronaldo, I don't think he's just come to, you know, retirement mode. Like, definitely not. I look at Varane, who he's just won 4 Champions League with Real Madrid. He's done all that he can, I guess. He wants to try something else. He wants to also come and win, you know? And obviously I understand that there's been a division with your fans at the club for some time over, I guess, this and maybe other decisions. But going forward, I wouldn't imagine that, you know, anybody massively drops their standards. I get that there was a rebuilding sort of period, but It looks like it was done to some decent level for the most of it, in terms of gaps where you lot felt like positions should have been dealt with. I can only look and see about maybe two sort of areas on the pitch where it's like, okay, we still need to fill in and plug this gap with a higher quality player. But for the most of it, I feel like going forward, Man U, I've always said it, with Ole in this season, the quality of players you guys have, you lot can definitely be pushing and be aiming to win like proper trophies. Like after the signings you lot made this summer window, with a competent coach, there's no way anybody can tell me with that group of players, if I go through the list, if you were to get the best out of, let's say, half of the players, there is no doubt you guys could push for some of these trophies. So obviously, to do what I guess Chelsea did last season in terms of a bounce, you never know. You got Mr. Champions League with you guys. Like, he's already done as much as he's done with the team performing as poorly as it did before.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, and that's the beautiful game. So like, for me, I consider Man U to be up there. Like, the English game has become greater and greater, and it'd be stupid to completely rule Man U out, in my opinion, especially with this appointment happening. So I respect Manchester United as a club and institution. There's no way you can rule them out.
Come on. That's what I'm saying. Manchester Mania says we'll lose 1-0 or 2-0 for being honest. We'll get into score predictions and all of that a little bit later. We got realists in the building. My guy Ralf is ready to sort this team out, get these lazy men out, get us building again. Ralf learned from the ex-AC Milan coach who had that pressing shit down. Klopp and Tuchel weak at the knees. Big up Carl Johnson. Come on, my bro. Talk to me about Tuchel, man. Assess his performance since coming to the club. Obviously, he's coming up to about a year now. He came in January. Just talk to me about his time at the club. Like, what have you been impressed with? Any improvements? Like, just let me know, bro.
Tuchel, man, this guy, man, what can I say? I think just recently he had, after the Juve game, we talked about it lightly, he's had the 50th game in charge for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct, he's had the sort of, I don't want to say best record in terms of the longest the most games won, I believe. Or the least goals
conceded as well.
Yeah. And
I think so, because sorry to cut you off just quickly there. I feel like is it 37 wins in 50 games or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And then like
something stupid like that.
Something stupid, like it's crazy. Like, but continue.
It's ridiculous. Like, when I look and from when he's obviously come in to now, obviously I spoke with other Chelsea fans, and obviously nobody dislikes the guy. Nobody even questions his decision making. We all trust. He's built this trust from the reliability of his performances on the pitch, and I think some people sort of question the sort of how sort of consistent and reliable are we on the stretch of the pitch. And for me, for what I saw in the first 6 months, I was convinced. I was very convinced. The level he brought certain players, like who some of us were screaming, not me personally, but some people were screaming for the likes of Rudiger to be sold. Some people even saying Kante should leave this team.
Yeah.
Some people were uttering that stuff.
I remember.
Who else? Like, there was multiple players. Jorginho. People were like, we're done with this guy. Move him on.
Yeah.
But look at those players since then. And it'd be crazy, not to say that the players themselves haven't done whatever, but it'd be crazy to not look at Tuchel and see that he is bringing the better out of these players. Someone like even Reece James, I think Mason Mount as well had a recent interviews come out and mentioned the positives of this guy. He's so balanced, but the way he's able to tap into each of the players' psyche and sort of bring the best out of their game. I'm seeing it with, Chilwell. He's improving his game. Reece James, we're seeing the form he's going into. He's tapping into him, making him have you know, the IQ is up there, because playing this three at the back system, one thing I noticed, people like to quickly come out and say, oh, Chelsea are defending better. You guys got three at the back. That's why you just got an extra man back. Yes, it may set you up to play more defensively, but just being in the three at the back does not give it to you straight away. You have to be able to be well coached, understand where you're meant to be on the pitch. And the likes of Chilwell and Reece James, you can see how drastic the changes from last season compared to this season. All the differences is the time that's given to them. And obviously you don't learn the job over 2 weeks. You need time. And you're seeing these guys improve. The likes of Loftus-Cheek, he's come back into his team, and you're seeing him improve once again. Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi. I can go through every player in this team, and I'm sure they will give you a positive account of Tuchel. Going forward, I think he has a great sort of talent ID. He sort of knows what's, you know, ideal for the player themselves with the club. I don't know, maybe his past experience with PSG has helped him. You know, we talked about it on the other stream about how PSG and Pochettino, the situation they're in. And I feel like as a manager, not just a coach, as a manager, you have to be able to deal with players outside the pitch, how, you know, they will deal with this specific situation, how good their situation is, what they feel the club, their contract situations. And to me, from what I've seen so far, he's got the balance right. The only thing we'll get to see now is obviously this Rudiger situation, which I think was something not in his hands. I think it was due to Lampard personally. But we're seeing how he's even managing that situation. And regardless of the contract, Rudiger's still playing his best football. So, you know, it's just another example of this guy. He's been top notch from start to now, and hopefully he continues. I wouldn't, you know, say he's better than the other two or certain man, but Tuchel has definitely propelled his name into the top manager in the world, because he's just been exquisite since he's you know, come through.
Bro, that's been you just kind of like summed everything up perfectly. But Big Up C, he says the way that he made like 0 transfers, especially like that first stint, obviously before the summer came in, made it look like a completely different team, which is the truth, man. It's just like, to be honest with you, in terms of my thoughts on Tuchel, like when he came in, I was still very unconvinced about you know, how good of a coach he was, like good manager he was. Like you know, I'd seen him struggle at certain points during his PSG spell. Obviously at Dortmund it's a bit different because of the fact that Bayern are the #1 team in Germany. So regardless of whatever you do, you're not going to beat that machine. Do you know what I mean? So like he was obviously going to get his start into coaching like a top level team, and then moved on to PSG. And obviously, as we spoke about on the UCL show on Wednesday, we was like, he's not really there to manage players. He's managing the families and the situations of these players. And so he's basically a sporting director instead of really being a manager or coach. And then obviously coming to Chelsea, I doubted him. I remember tweeting out like back when he joined, I was like, he ain't doing nothing at Chelsea. But then he's proven me wrong, shut me down completely with that Champions League final win in May. And then now the way you lot are flying right now in the league, he shut me down completely. Now, as you said, he has to be in that top 5 managers currently in the world. Like he's in there. I don't know what position he is, but he's definitely up there. And as you said, like some of the changes he's made to the team, like obviously some of your fans are saying, oh, you know, you're a little bit more defensive, but you're winning games. You're not conceding goals, and that's key. If you're gonna win the league, defense has to be on point. Like defense wins you titles. Like attack can win you matches, but defense wins you titles. So like for him to be able to instill that, but still keep his style of play in there, like he's you know, those quick transitions through the fullbacks or the wing backs, like it's kind of crazy. And then mentioning the Rudiger situation as well, how he's managing it perfectly. So we're seeing a lot of his man management skills too. Bro, I'm even now jealous that we didn't go in for him at the time. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's true, bro. Because it's like I didn't rate him before he came to Chelsea. Now I rated him, and it's like if we had taken a chance, maybe we would be in the situation right now that's good and not. But you know what I'm saying? So, Big Up Realist. He says he's giving you a question. He says, "What do you think about Reece James?"
Look, shout out for the question, man. If I get started on Reece James, the way I could keep going for, look, Reece James, me personally, obviously, I have my biases. Hudson-Odoi, he's a Ghanaian. Like, I rep this guy. I like this guy. I think he's so talented. But I'm not gonna lie, in terms of talent, because Cobham, we've got talents. For me, one of the best academies, probably the best academy. Sorry,
I think it's the best in England, bro. Like,
do you know what I mean? Best in England. The talent that comes out of Cobham is mad. Like we've seen the talent across the league, the likes of, let me just get started on this right back conversation. This Reece James guy has displaced Tariq Lamptey, who we've seen at Brighton, and we know, he's quite short, but we know he's a baller. He can play. He can play for a lot of teams. Tino Livramento for Southampton. We've seen the quality on that kid, that he could have easily walked into our team as well, but he knew he wasn't going to play because somebody was taking the spot. Reece James has put all of these guys out of the way, and it's not no coincidence. There's not a coincidence as to why we gave him that role, let him push into the team over all of these other guys. This Reece James kid is honestly something else. Like the other day, I saw like a little compilation of what he's done like at Chelsea. I remember seeing this guy at Wigan. I think when he was on loan, or Wigan or Huddersfield, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Wigan.
Clubs. And what he was doing there was just like he's bullying people in the Championship. And if you don't think about the Championship, that's a very like physical league. If you want to get to the grips of the English game and be physical, go to the Championship and then come up to Prem so you can get ready. He was bullying guys at 19.
He was in midfield, bro. He was playing midfield, centre mid, bro. Like that's what was so mad about it. Like, people, if you don't know, Reece James was playing centre mid for Wigan, bro. You're not understanding the tech on this guy, bro. But continue, bro.
Look, and even look at that one. Like, I even nearly forgot. The guy was deployed in the middle as well, running the ground, like just doing his thing, pushing man to the left and right. He's got the technical ability, left, right. You're not seeing the long shots he's done. I think his first goal for Chelsea, if I'm right, or maybe this season under Lampard, he picked up the ball. I don't know how he was on the left side cutting in, but in the middle, his left side cutting in, just bangs it.
I think
30,
it was
40 yards, top bins against Brighton, I think.
Brighton, it was Brighton. I remember. I was watching that game. Yeah.
Inspired the comeback. He got that goal, and it was like, to me, when I'm watching him week in, week out, I'm thinking, especially the start of this season, I'm thinking, what can this guy not do? Because at this point, look, personally, I'm not going to say he's better than Trent or anything like that, because for me, especially on the road to being a top class or world class player, you've got to do it over time. I need to see you do it consistently over time. And I think Trent's ahead of that in terms of the rate. But in terms of the way I see this player, defending. If I see a guy go 1v1 with Reece James, I know for a fact they're a bit like, because if you try and knock it past him and run around him, best believe if he's running shoulder to shoulder with you, he's brushing you out the way, or he's going to harass you. You're not going to get past him easily. He's very good defensively, 1v1. Going forward, we know he can put those balls in. His delivery is top notch. Shooting. We've seen it against Arsenal, against Newcastle. Those 2 goals against Newcastle. Like, what the hell? I haven't seen that. I can name strikers that can't even hit the ball like that, right foot, left foot. It's mad. His dribbling, ball retention. Honestly, I'm trying to find weaknesses in this kid's game. And right now, I think he's going to be so influential to our season. Reece James, to me, honestly, he probably is the biggest talent I've seen come out of Cobham. If I'm keeping it real, I want to put Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi ahead of him, but from what he's showing me, it's ridiculous, because he came into this team and he just slotted in straight away. He didn't need like a warm-up transition period. Like, I could say for Mason Mount, for Loftus-Cheek, for Hudson-Odoi, they needed a bit of time to get in. But look, Reece James just came in, and you could see he was comfortable. This position was his. Like Aspi at the time was, I think, captain or vice captain, and was like, this was his position. But he came in, and all of us fans were like, "Yo, play Reece James over this guy." Like, no disrespect to Aspi, but play him because he's better. You can see it. But yeah, it's incredible how great this kid is, man. Like, he's got the roof and above to go. Like, it's mad.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. I mean, yeah, that sums up Reece James perfectly, man. And like, yeah, the way he plays, man, it's just very balanced as a footballer. So you know how we look at Trent and we're like, his attacking attributes are amazing, but defensively going the other way, we're a bit shaky on him. Yeah, you can't say that with Reece James. Reece James is very balanced going forward and going the other way. Yeah, Big Up C, he says he's definitely top 5 now, instant success, man. Yeah, I think he's referring to Tuchel, Conor Gallagher, another one for the future as well, doing well at Palace. He used to play in midfield for Wigan. He was balling in the Championship. I remember this. Everyone get this guy off. He make him want to fight. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Hey, let me fight that guy as well, fam, because I don't like him at all, bro. Like, I hope Rangnick gets this guy out of here, bro, because he's finished. He's so finished. I'm not gassing up no Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's finished. Tomorrow is his last game in the first team. I'm done with my man. Still, I'm done with him. Now let's move on to the game. Obviously, tomorrow we play Chelsea, 4:30 kickoff at the Bridge. Just in terms of like any key team news from your side, just let me know. Like in terms of injuries, I know Lukaku's back. Chilwell obviously had that unfortunate injury in the midweek, so he's going to be out for sure, definitely. But who else is going to be like either injured or coming back from injury? Because I know Pulisic might be coming back as well, isn't
it? Yeah, in terms of the injury list, I think from our last press conference, obviously I think was yesterday,
yeah.
I believe. It's been a bit, I don't know if Tuchel's maybe holding his cards close to his chest to maybe make Carrick guess, but obviously Lukaku, he is back, but there's been a bit of like he's not match ready. Probably won't start from the looks of it. And I personally think, from the sounds of it, I don't think he'll want him to start here. I don't think he'll want to disrupt the sort of form we've been going on as of right now, to just like push him in. I think he would rather let other guys start ahead. N'Golo Conte, I think, is not 100%. He might not start, I believe, from the looks of it. I'm not even sure if he's fully ready, fit fully. So maybe he might be a bench or to come off. The likes of, obviously we've mentioned Chilwell, obviously he'll be out. Either Alonso, potentially Azpilicueta, I think could maybe feature in that role. Just keep the intensity and pace on that side, because like the comment said, like Alonso, no disrespect to Alonso, but his mobility, I think it does limit us when we're trying to play the way we're playing at the moment. Alonso, the only really difference other than Kante and Alonso, I think maybe in the front three is going to be difficult to know who's playing for sure. Obviously, the likes of Werner, I think, is back as well. We've seen him have a few minutes against Juve. Havertz and Lukaku. Havertz, Lukaku, Mason Mount. They're the three that I'm not sure. Obviously, Lukaku is ready, but not match ready. In a sense, he hasn't had any minutes since being out. Mason Mount, sort of similar. He had he had the illness, then he had the tooth surgery. I don't think he's had much minutes. Maybe he came on for a bit in one of the games. I can't remember, but I don't think he's had much minutes either. So he's, I'm not sure whether he'll start. And then Havertz as well. He had the thigh. He pulled his hamstring, I believe. From what I know, he was in training, but also he's a potential doubt in terms of the starting XI. So I don't know. In terms of the personnel, I don't think it'd be ideal to play exactly what we've been playing up to the lead up, but you never know. Maybe it might just depend on Tuchel wanting to let the guys who've been playing continue to play. I think there's probably only one solid starter in that game, I think, in terms of the front three. Hudson-Odoi for me. In terms of the other guys, he could chop and change. But, we'll see. I think that's the only solid sort of team news from our side.
Cool. Readers United saying the only saving grace is that Alonso's playing so Sancho can run him ragged. Yeah. I mean, that's if that happens, then we might see some change out of my man. But in terms of United team news, I know Greenwood is out because of COVID. He's still self-isolating. Cavani, I feel like I don't think he's travelled with the squad, apparently. Luke Shaw was concussed. I don't know if he's ready to return. So I feel like the protocols are, if you get a concussion, you have to sit 2 weeks out or something like that, just for safety reasons. I feel like that's the concussion rules now. Fred rolled his ankle against Villarreal, but still played on in the game, in the rest of that game. So he seemed fine, but you know how those things happen. You could just be okay in the moment, and then your ankle just starts to swell, like once you just sit down. So we don't know how he's feeling. But apart from that, it looks like everybody else is fit. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty much full strength team going into that game tomorrow. Now, talk to me about who do you think your key players are going to be for this game. So just give me your top 3 key players for the game.
Oof, that's a tough one, key players. Obviously, with the consistency we've shown, there's been obviously outstanding performance from, I guess, all over the pitch. But in terms of game changers, who's going to make the big difference? Obviously, I expect our Mendy to keep doing what he's doing, our defense to be solid. But in terms of the game changer, I'm going to have to, one of them, I have to continue to Reece James. Because obviously he does both help at the back and going forward. He is one of our outlets. We'll miss Chilwell, clearly, because obviously he's not there. So Reece James, I think there'll be a bit more onus on him to get forward and, cause a more threat like he has been doing. I feel like potentially Carrick, I don't know how tactically, sharp he is. He looks like he did a decent job against Villarreal. He set up those, proper coaching there, the way you guys played in the Champions League. But I don't know if maybe he'd set up in a way to just block off that right-hand side. Because well and truly, if you're a coach, you're coming to face Chelsea, I think it's smart to probably deal with that side. Because Reece James in himself, he not trying to big him up overly, but he deserves to be, pay attention to this side. Don't let him have the free roam going forward, because he's going to punish you if you give him that space. Reece James is one. And then I look to the front line. See, I don't know who exactly is going to play, so it's a bit tough. But I do think, obviously, the likes of Hudson-Odoi, I need him to have he needs to have a, continuing his form, have a top game, be the threatening. He needs to put Wan-Bissaka on ice skates. Do you know what I mean? That's what he needs to do.
Otherwise, don't say that, bro, because look, I can see that happening, I can see it. Real talk, I can actually see it, because, like, nah, man, nah. The thing about it is that you see, like, Wan-Bissaka, there'll be them games, like, against Sterling, where he'll lock man up and it's done. But this one, I'm not sure, because the movement is going to be a bit mad around him, because, like, who plays left? Who's going to be playing left wing back for you lot?
Like, it might be Alonso.
Might be Alonso. So you see, all right. So then, so you see with that, then I'm okay, because imagine if it was on the other side. If he was left back and you've got Reece James running at you, and then somebody else running at you, hey, you won't be able to handle it, because you won't be able to. So, like, he's okay. All right, I'll give him that. He's gonna have one threat and one person to focus on. The other person needs, like, we need one of our midfielders to just block off that route for that left wing back and all of that. But go and continue. So Hudson,
no, most definitely. And obviously, like you said, because he's not gonna have the help like that. I don't think Hudson with the likes of maybe Alonso proves me wrong, but I don't think he'll get that much help. Because Alonso, like I said, his mobility. If he was faster, then I'd be like, but he's not. He ain't got the legs. He's getting older. The one other guy who I say will be vital. Because I see you guys coming and setting up defensively. So I don't think you lot, in terms of midfield, will try to tussle us too hard in terms of trying to win the ball back. But I do think, because obviously I reckon Loftus-Cheek might play. Because also, I forgot about Kovacic. He's probably out as well, so I forgot to mention him. And Loftus-Cheek will probably play. This guy, he's very physical, as you know. He likes to, tussle and bustle. But if we're going to keep the ball, Jorginho, you know how this guy plays. He's going to be dictating the ball. He's going to be springing the ball left, right.
Yeah.
He, for me, will be somebody to help dictate the pace. If you guys end up coming to just, sit back and defend very deep, I feel like Jorginho, in terms of, because what we do against teams that sit back, if you not frustrate us well and try to do the counter thing, we did it against, I don't want to say, maybe Burnley or the team before. What we do is when you frustrate us, we start to pass the ball slower. We don't be as, the intensity goes down. The moment we drop off, you don't get the ball, Rashford, bombs, Sancho, bomb, Ronaldo, bomb, and you don't punish us. So, I think Jorginho will have a vital role in terms of keeping the ball ticking, dictating the play, continue to marshal that midfield. And, they're the 3-4-ish guys that I see that will have a difference in the game. If they don't have a great game, then I don't see us, pushing on and scoring, because I don't see where the goals will come from if those guys are not at the top of their game. The rest, I expect them to do the stuff they do, but in terms of scoring goals, Reece James, Hudson-Odoi, and Jorginho for me.
Yeah, that sounds solid. That sounds solid, this game. But she says that Maguire's red card is gonna be a blessing in disguise, bro. I don't know, because who's gonna play? Because I feel like I forgot to mention. I feel like Varane is still not ready to start.
Oh, is he not?
Right? I don't think so. If I'm mistaken, someone let me know. But I feel like he's not ready yet. He was warming up on a bike, and I've seen him like he's in training, but I don't think he's ready to start yet. So it looks like he's gonna be by Lindelof as a partnership at the back. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a decent partnership. I mean, when we beat you 2-0, when was it? Last season. Was it last season? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think was it last season? No, it wasn't last season. The season before, sorry. The season before under Lampard. We went to the bridge, beat you 2-0. Bailly played a really good game in that game. So, he was next to Maguire. So there's a bit of history there for him. Reela says that Mendy don't have to come and play because we won't be shooting. See Mendy. Hey, we spoken about Mendy, bro. He's cold. He's cold keeper, man. But yeah, I hear the sentiment. I hear the sentiment still. Big up Eagle Eye Football. Big up Rich. Go subscribe to him. He had a live show, match reaction. Palace lost today against Villa. Unfortunate defeat at home, but we move. In terms of the key players for United, for me, I feel like one of them's gonna have to be Lindelof. Like, obviously, this is his opportunity to kind of to really step up, because I feel like in every moment this season where he's had to be placed into the team because he's lost his place as a starter, he's performed very well. So I'll say the game against Leeds, he got an assist. That was at the start of the season. He comes in there because Varane wasn't ready to start. Obviously, I'm trying to think of some other games where he stepped in and he's played really well. I want to say, obviously, the game against Villarreal, he played very well in that game too. Didn't put a foot wrong. And it's like I feel like that added competition has made him step up his level. Of course, we know his weaknesses, but his strengths as well. In terms of being very comfortable with the ball, playing the ball out from the back, and all of that. Positioning wise, he's okay. I think he's okay. He's not the best, but positionally, he's really good. So I feel like he's going to be a key player tomorrow. He needs to concentrate a lot with it because there's going to be a lot of fluid movement around him. So he needs to make sure that he's tracking runs, picks his man, and doesn't deviate from that. In midfield, if Fred is available, he's going to be key for me. The reason why is because there's a potential where Chelsea will start to really control that midfield, and there'll be a lot of energy, and we need somebody who's going to be there trying to break up enough play. We're going to be needing somebody to be tracking runners, and this is where Fred is going to be key in that midfield. And I know a lot of United fans are mixed feelings with Fred, but me personally, from what I've seen and what I think he can do, if he's allowed to do that, like he's not a a Jorginho type defensive midfielder where he's dictating play, setting the tempo. He's breaking lines from deep. He's not that kind of midfielder. He's more of your a lot of energy, tackling, interceptions. He's that kind of midfielder, similar to a Kante, for example. He's not on the same level, but he's a similar type of player. So he's going to be key in that game. And if he's deployed correctly, he'll have a good game. Like it's just about what he does. And then in the attack, I'm leaning again towards Jadon Sancho. It's a big test for him. We're gonna see him now against one of these top 6, top 4 sides. It's your time. You've arrived now. You scored your first goal in the midweek against Villarreal. Let's see what you can do in this game. Can you exploit that little space in between the wing back and the third centre half? Can you pull that third centre half out of position? Can you work the space? I want to see him get involved in there, and it might be a good game for him. So those are my 3 key players. Now we're gonna do something a little bit different right now. Let me just get this right. Let me just make sure. Okay. Right. So I'm gonna just maximize this. Right. We're gonna do a combined 11, but hold on. It's not based on form, because form-wise, it'll be a full Chelsea 11. So we can't do that. Yeah. We're gonna do it based on ability, of players, right? And this would be an interesting debate. So for goalkeeper, we don't have to debate that. It's Mendy. Like I don't even need to say nothing. So we're going Mendy, right? For the goalkeeper, right? But what formation, first of all, what formation we going with? Yeah, are we going with the 2 centre halves, or are we going for 3? Because
I think it's fair to go with two centre backs.
Yeah. All right. So the first centre half, who you throwing in the ring there?
Oh, this is a hard one, For me, I want to put one Chelsea defender in there, but I'm trying to pick which one.
Pick which one, yeah, because I know who I'm picking. I already know who I'm picking. Nobody can tell me nothing. Champions League Varane, like he's going in there.
Yeah, he has to. He has to.
Yeah. So who's your pick?
If I keep it real, it has to be Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
It hurts me to say. I know Rudiger's been so top notch, but in terms of like pure centre back, all round everything, if you ignore the age, because even with the age, the guy is exceptional right now. Thiago Silva, he's just a Rolls Royce at the back. I can't even lie. He's top notch. We saw that clearance he did against Juve. He reads the game too well. He's too good.
But just on Silva, like it's mad, at 37 years old, how he's come to the Premier League. Like we all thought he was gonna struggle here, and to be fair, in that early period, like he was getting worked by like a lot of men, and then he just settled in that 3 centre halves. The three centre backs has really like kind of just made him a lot more solidified, and like it's like he's rolling back the years. He could probably play till 40 if he wanted to. Like it's just mad how like it's crazy how his development has been. But right back, there's no debate here. You can't. There's no debate here. It's Reece James. Like,
yeah, Reece James. Solid.
It's Reece James at right back. Yeah, left back. Ooh, left back. It's like who's out of our 2 teams? Yeah, like you got Alonso, and you got Luke Shaw. Like I don't rate Luke Shaw. He's been very poor this season, but does he have a greater amount of ability than Marcus Alonso?
I feel like Chelsea fans will probably get on to me for this, but I'm sorry, man. I don't see anything in Alonso anymore, man. We're not in 2017. We're in 2021. He's decent, yeah, but I'm telling you the amount of stuff he is, he has a lot more liabilities than assets for me personally. And look, if we're doing a back 4 as well, the guy can't cut it back 4, man. He can't run. I can't have a fullback that can't run. So
we're going Luke Shaw.
I'd say Luke Shaw over him. I can't lie.
We're going Luke Shaw, even though I don't want to put him there. He's there, right? So we're going midfield 3. This is the toughest one because for only 3 spaces, yeah. Yo, this is tough.
I think one guy has to get in there regardless, though. Like no debate.
Go on.
N'Golo Conte, man.
Yeah,
debate,
I can't. Man. Yeah, that one I can't say like no. Like with the player he is, yeah. Like his rise has been mad.
Insane.
I was playing in 2nd division of France, comes to Leicester, 1.2 million or something crazy like that. And then boom, wins the league with Leicester the following season, leaves, goes to Chelsea, wins the Premier League again. Like he's been outstanding. He's been outstanding as a player. And people were trying to say that he was finished under Lampard. It was like, oh, maybe he's not the same Kante anymore. What? Nah, he's the same Kante. World Cup winner as well. It's crazy. The rise is crazy. Now, this is getting a bit more sticky because, fam,
it's tough, man.
Man, like PP, Paul Pogba has to be there on ability. He has to be in this midfield. On ability. Forget his 5 years at United and everybody's talking about, he's not really cutting for United. Like, even my dad, when I speak to him, he's like, Paul Pogba's had 3 good games for Man United. My dad's one of them top Reds there, like, and I'm just like, nah. Like, look, Paul Pogba, from an ability standpoint, gets into every midfield in the world. I don't care about Liverpool when they're pressing. It don't matter. You have to put him in there, regardless. So I'm fighting for Paul Pogba.
Look, I'll keep it real. Yeah, I can't disagree. Like for me personally, when I look at your team, for me, when I've seen Man U at their best, like full flowing attacking football, smashing teams, Pogba is one of the key cogs in that team. I can't lie. Obviously, it's a whole conversation in terms of how you fit him in and whatnot. Cool, fair enough. But if I'm watching the game and I'm seeing Man U in their full flowing element, their attacking element, Pogba's that guy, man. The guy's got talent upon talent. Everybody knows, like, talent-wise, he chats to anybody. Like, when De Bruyne's going in and doing all that he's doing, you look at Pogba and you're like, Pogba can do all of that. He really can do all of that. Like, he's got the dribbling, he's got his passing, he does it effortlessly, and very rarely does he, like, when he attempts to do a mad ball, whatever, he pulls it off like he's on a playground. Like, it's just, man, easy. It's effortless to him. We've seen the seasons he's had earlier towards his Man U career, the amount of goals he can contribute going forward. We've seen him ball out, take players on, especially, look, if you got N'Golo Conte next to him as well, I can't lie, we've seen him in the World Cup already. Like, that's Pogba for you. Like, the guy, you give him the free roaming element, like he had at Juve and sort of in France as well. The guy, he gets to do what he wants. Let him do what he wants. He will cook. So Pogba, I can't deny the guys. I would have him in my team. If I could pick a player, I'd have Pogba in my team, 100%.
Come on. Big up readers for the comment. Man said get a new dad, unless they're top. Hey, fam, I be telling my dad, I don't know where this Pogba hate comes from, bruv. Like, what is going on here? Like, don't tell me. Man be talking to me about McTominay. I said, McTominay what, bruv? Like, what is he like? What is he doing here? Like, nah, man. Nah. Big up Ferbs. He says, with us not having Ralf in a couple of weeks, implementing his style and tactics, our best bet is to try and keep a clean sheet, steal it on the counter, get a draw, steal a win, 100%. I don't see us going there doing up. We're gonna keep the ball from Chelsea and all this. Nah, it's a counter thing to try and win the game. Big up Red Devil 11. He says Bruno has to be in there. I'm sorry. N'Golo in there. He agrees with the N'Golo shout. poor Gino has to stay far away from this 11. I like Paul more than Bruno, but he doesn't contribute as much as Bruno, so it's 50-50, up to preference, to be fair. Pogba 100% the more talented player, but this is based on talent. Alonso has to be over Shaw, not good enough. I don't know. I mean, like, you see with Alonso, yeah, like, I feel like he's there's certain things he does very well, but then, you know, like the fundamentals of a defender, at times I see it lacking. I ain't gonna lie, and it's like, I don't know if that's just because he's just not up to that standard, or what. Like, it's just and I don't like Luke Shaw, but he has to go in this side. I like, because I just feel like Luke Shaw is just slightly ahead of him, just from a technical standpoint. But that's just me.
No, 100%. Look, I'll keep it real, yeah. Alonso, you lot don't understand. Until he's in your team, you won't feel the pain like we have. Look, I don't mean to make it like he hasn't contributed. He's won the league with us. He was very important. He's done great stuff for Chelsea. There's a lot of players who've done great stuff for Chelsea, and I'll never take it away from them. However, like you said, when I'm looking at this guy's deficiencies, and especially if we're looking at this XI back four, left back, I promise you, if you let him play left back, he's getting older now as well. Like, you will pull your hair out. He can't play that. You cannot play with a fullback that cannot run. I'm telling you, I went to one of the games, Champions League against Malmo. When I tell you, when Chilwell wasn't playing, and one of these guys, one of these farmers I've never heard of, was giving Alonso problems, spinning, and he's, skanking at us. And no. I can't deal with this. Take this guy. Don't let this guy play, man. And it's no coincidence Tuchel has not let him sniff a minute since Chilwell has been playing. Yeah. We're not trying to deal with. We don't want no passengers right now. I'm telling you, Alonso, even the left wing back, you feel him not running. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. He's a good player. He's got talent, but if you have talent, then you can't even run. Then I'm sorry, man. It's the basics of football. You have to be able to run to be useful on the pitch. So he's not making it for me, man. I'm sorry.
He said, "Hey, he says if you can't go Ronaldo, I'll time out everybody." Hey, all right. The third midfielder, yeah. What are we saying? Now there's a mismatch here, man. We've got Kovacic, we've got Bruno. Who else we got? Wait,
they're probably the two like front runners, to be fair,
who could play in that, like, just a bit more withdrawn in like an 8 position. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Kai Havertz, for me, a bit hot and cold. Just in his time at Chelsea, like, it's a bit hot and cold. There's moments where he's amazing. There's moments where it's not it for me. Do you know what I mean? But and then we're forgetting about Mason Mount as well. Like, I mean, I prefer Kovacic, like, as a midfielder when we're talking about the attributes that he has here over Mason Mount. But a lot of people rate Mason Mount as well. Bruno, for me, is just a bit. I'd prefer to see him in a more withdrawn type of role, as opposed to being a 10 and doing up the pressing from the front and running beyond the beyond the strikers and all of that. So, me personally, I'm probably gonna go Kovacic. Me personally.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you as well. Like, I can't lie. When I look at sort of, obviously, maybe, like I say, talent wise, and in terms of a midfielder, Kovacic, for me, I know he doesn't have, the one thing he doesn't have as much as the goal scoring, shooting outside the box type of stuff. But in terms of all round, other than that, the guy is I get onto Kovacic when he's not performing or isn't doing the right stuff. But the guy, he's pretty consistent. Rarely do I watch Kovacic play for us and think, "Yo, you've been poor. Get him off the pitch." I never ever think that. He comes in and does what he does. If you get tight to him, he escapes that press by himself. He will just drop a shoulder, skip past you like you weren't there. His passing, we've seen some of the passes he gave Lukaku earlier this season. I think, to be fair, he was arguably, before he got injured, Chelsea's best player before Reece James, because Reece James was out for a bit as well. Kovacic was balling out. He was scoring goals, getting assists. He was doing his thing. And Kovacic, for the time he's been here since, I guess, Sarri, then Lampard, then now, he got player of the season one of the years. You know, still like a decent performer, one of them, and he's doing it again this season. He's been decent. He's been good. And he's the midfielder I can rely on, because midfielders, generally you want to rely on them. Kovacic, I feel like if you call upon him, there's not a time where you'd be getting mad. Bruno obviously is a very top talent, but, you know, there's times where his ball retention isn't as good, especially if you're playing in the midfield. You want to keep the ball. Cool, he'll be trying stuff, but the other 50% of the time he's giving the ball away. You get frustrated. The likes of Havertz, similar as well. He's hot and cold. Maybe due to the age, is what it is, but you know, when you're hot and cold, you're not reliable. I don't want you in the middle if you're not hot and cold. The midfielders I look to, who are like, you know, I need to be confident that they're going to provide what I expect of them. And, you know, with the three we picked, I know they're most likely delivering what I expect of them. 8 or 10 times, you know. So,
bro, I 100% agree, because like I prefer Kovacic. I like him as a midfielder. Like, some people don't rate him, which I'm very, very surprised. Like, but to be fair, he is an underrated midfielder though. Like, just in terms of what he does. Obviously, unfortunate. Like, obviously, he went to Real Madrid, and at this moment in time, Real Madrid is a bit of a mess. Like, especially even Barcelona, the same type of thing. Midfielders have gone there. They were quality, but it's just from a sporting direction, just a mess, innit? So, like, he had to come to Chelsea, and Chelsea got themselves a nice little bargain right there. Quality midfielder, and all of that. Yes, Eli Football says smash the like on the video. Smash the like button, people. If you're in here, smash the like, and if you haven't done it already, yeah, man says skanking. Kovacic or Mason. Kovacic is a G. Mateo so good, I would kill for a CM like him. Big Modric vibes. Kodric is always a 7 out of 10 minimum, nothing less, which is 100% true. And yeah, he agrees with you, saying that he was your best player earlier on this season. Kovacic is solid. Yeah, Kovacic hands that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I could have slapped Bruno in here for the whole United bias, but in all honesty, for what he brings to the side, like, and this is one good thing my dad does say though. He goes, if Bruno's not scoring or assisting, what does he do? And that's a big for a midfield. If anybody's saying, what do you do apart from those things as a midfielder, then there's something going on. Because if you're out of the game for like, and for even 10, if you're out of the game, for like 80 minutes, and the other 10 minutes you're doing what you're doing, what happened for the other 80 minutes? So, like, you know, like it's just one of those things. It's one of those things. C says he's a proper balanced midfielder. Yeah, which is true. Extremely underrated. Yeah. Big up Brush in the building. Hope you're good, my guy. He says, not gonna lie, it's peak for us tomorrow. Real are good now. Let them be. Barca's the real mess. Very peak. I just want Ralf to slap Arsenal, to be fair. All right, we're gonna move to the front line. This is where it can get even more sticky, right? Right. I don't know.
I think it's fair to put one person there, like, straight, like, regardless.
Go.
CR7, man. You got to
see. Look, I wasn't gonna fight with you on this one. Like this one, there's no fight here. Look at CR7. Yeah, CR7 is my goat. Yeah, like of course I love Messi. I love what he does, but for me, what I see Ronaldo do, I'm just like, that's that Michael Jordan kind of madness, where like the relentless work to get to the top. That's why I like him so much. Do you know what I mean? From an ability standpoint, Messi's 100% better than him from an ability standpoint. But that relentless, like, drive to break records and continually breaking his own records and scoring goals, getting to the top of the game like he has, somebody that come from an island off of Portugal to get to the top of the game, no one can deny it. Do you know what I'm saying? But CR7 is up front. But now left and right wing, what are we saying here, bro? Because I know you want to throw in your guy. You want to throw in Callum Hudson-Odoi, but we got to consider something here, yeah. Because this run of form is very, very recent. It's that recency bias that would throw him in here, yeah. Prior to that, highly rated youngster at Chelsea, but never performing on the pitch, and that's not his fault. Let's say it's not his fault. Injuries, and then managerial changes, and in and out of the team, and I don't know where to use you. So that's a bit of recency bias. But who are you saying? Because also you've got Pulisic. Ziyech can play left or right, so you could throw him in there, but he's not been great at all, really, in the Chelsea shirt. Werner, hot and cold.
No.
What we saying?
Here,
so what we did? Because I mean, look, for me, in terms of a left wing shout, I'm gonna put Marcus Rashford in there. From like as much as ability wise, like I've seen him do some amazing stuff from an ability standpoint, from a technical standpoint. Sometimes the problem for me is the decision making.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
That's his only problem, Rashford. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I think it is. It's the decision making. That's his only problem. So, but based on his career from the time he came into the team up until now, you can't deny like the status and how he's got there. You know what I'm saying? So
100%. Rashford, I don't know. Rashford's a bit of a funny one, the way people break him down. Like I don't really know how people's general consensus is of how they rate him. You know, obviously sometimes I see Man U fans go back and forth between, oh, Rashford's better. Oh no, Martial's better. You know, going back and forth. But I think Rashford, people need to respect, like you said, since he's come in, there's been this sort of consistent. He delivers something, and to me, he hasn't lacked in terms of the consistency. And this is the thing when it comes to his attackers. Look, I'll be honest, I can't bring the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi. Like, obviously, I rate him highly, but in terms of the overall game, he's a baby. He's only just started. He's got nothing on anybody else. Pulisic, for me, yes, cool. He did decent at Dortmund, and you know, here and there. Project Restart is the best we've seen of Pulisic, but. Other than that, he hasn't really. Yeah. He needs to do more, man. Yeah, hasn't done more. Ziyech, look, for Chelsea, for me, one of the most disappointing, because I expected him to be the most prolific attacker in our team when he came, and also underperformed. We already said what we said about Havertz, hot and cold. I'm not even sure if he's a forward like that. It might be a 10 or an 8 or whatever. Werner, let me not speak on Werner because I might get cancelled. Look, I'll be very honest. It's hard to put any Chelsea attacker here. Look, they've been the worst part of our team for a long time now. You know, since Hazard's left. So it's very tough. It's very tough to squeeze anybody in there. The best person maybe is probably Lukaku. But obviously Ronaldo snatches his spot. So. I can't really argue for anyone. I can't lie. Probably argue between the Man U boys.
Lukaku will just be on the right wing, bro. Because you know when Oli came into United, yeah, man started shifting him out to the right wing. then when they went to the World Cup, yeah, and Belgium, he was there, yeah. If you remember in that World Cup, yeah, Martinez, I think it was who was it against? I think it was against Brazil. Was it against Brazil or no? Against France. France in the semi-final, yeah. I think they played them, or quarterfinal. He was shifting Lukaku out to the right wing, yeah. And I was like, you see, this is the dumbest thing you've done, Martinez, because it's like, just because you saw Oli do it, then you think that he's the right winger. No, put him in the forward position because you need to trouble those centre backs, bro. And I was just like, yo, you're stupid. But all right, I'm gonna go Rashford. I'm gonna slap Rashford.
Yeah, Rashford. I think
on the left wing, yeah. Not left wing, but let me get in some more comments because people are doing their thing in the comments. Big up my guy Reese, my co-host. Hey Reese, I'm gonna shout you. We're gonna try and see if we can just do this match reaction after the game tomorrow. But yeah, CR7's is 100% in there. Realist says Ronaldo, Lukaku, Sancho. Cheers, Darren. No one's getting timed out. Messi's the GOAT, but Ronnie is greater than Tim's all day. He's talking about Lukaku here. Sancho, Greenwood for them. No big, big no to Timo Werner. Greenwood or Classford, Rashford. He said Werner hot and cold. When was he hot for Chelsea? I know. I mean, I'm gonna say this. He's not been great for Chelsea, definitely. I just think, oh no, he's struggling, man. He's just struggling in the Prem and all of that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not talking about composure. Greenwood over Rashford. Who else? What are we saying? Bro, imagine Lukaku was trying to whip in balls for Fred because that's the thing. I remember. Hey, he was like, when Oli came in, he was like, no, Lukaku's not my striker. Rashford is my striker. And because man scored one winner against Leicester, yeah, he said, all right, from now on, you're up front, Rashford, and man's going to be shifted out to right wing. I was like, what? Lukaku at right wing? Nah, you're mad. You are mad. All right, the last spot here, yeah, we're gonna do the right wing, yeah. Now, from a talent perspective, yeah, I want to throw Greenwood in it. Just from a talent perspective. I mean, you've already said you're already ruling out pretty much every attacker for Chelsea currently right now. So I'm gonna throw in Greenwood here. I feel like Greenwood should sit in there for the right wing, and it's because of his performances really from the start of the season. I think he's dipped off a lot. I think that's not his fault. Obviously, I feel like a lack of coaching from Oli has just kind of seen him stagnate slightly. And hopefully now with the new regime, we're going to see his game elevate a bit differently, where he's going to have a bit more variation in his game, where he's not just doing the step over, cut inside and shoot. Like now we're going to see him be able to link play. He'll learn to become a better striker than what he would have been if he was just under Oli's kind of tutelage, innit? So I'm going to throw in Greenwood there, and this is our combined 11. So let me just run through it. Mendy in goal. Obviously, I've already said, and we've spoken about him, greatest African keeper of all time. He's within a shout. Then the two centre halves, Rafael Varane, Thiago Silva at right back, Reece James, left back, Luke Shaw. In the midfield, N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic, and Paul Pogba. And up front, it's the United boys dominating Cristiano Ronaldo, Rashford on the left, Greenwood on the right. It looks like a fairly balanced 11. And yeah, I think that is where we're going to end that. But I feel like, yeah, that's a good balanced team for me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's a good balanced team for me. But yeah, so we're going to let's get onto these score predictions, bro. Like, tell me what you think is going to happen tomorrow in the game, and then give me your score predictions and scorers with that before we wrap this up, bro.
Oh man, this game is going to be, man, I feel like it's either going to go one way or the other. Me personally, I see goals in this game. I don't know what tells you. I know, man, you're going to set up defensively, but for some reason, I just see goals in this game. I'm gonna say 3-1 to Chelsea. I feel like you lot might, with the quality of attackers you guys have, and maybe due to maybe an early goal or whatever, it's gonna make the game be a lot more come out. Because I hope I don't jinx it, but over the past couple of years, Man U Chelsea fixture has always been, I don't know why, it's always been lackluster. I don't know if it's because I know last season either Lampard decided to let our wingers start defending.
Yeah.
Because we weren't getting clean sheets.
Yeah, in OT, I remember you reverted like to make sure that you wouldn't concede, and it was a 0-0 draw. And then obviously Tuchel's it was early on in his time, so he also was like very cautious. So it was a 0-0 game as well. I remember that one. But just like from just the history of the fixtures, yeah. There's goals in United Chelsea games, both home and away. There's always been goals, always been excitement. I don't know if you remember that 3-3 draw. I think this was
Hernandez.
Yeah, I remember that.
Man.
Yeah,
I remember that like it was yesterday.
so yeah, I don't know, bro. It's Stamford Bridge is very tough for United. We've won there, I think, twice in the last 15 years. I think twice. So we've not had a great record. And to be honest, Chelsea is the team in the Premier League that have beaten us the most, I believe, if throughout the history of the Premier League. So, like, it's always a tough game against Chelsea. But for me, in terms of a score prediction, like, look, it's going to either be you beat us convincingly or we nick it with a nice 1-1 or something like that, like defend for our lives throughout the game. Obviously, new centre-back partnership. I can see Bailly playing with Lindelof, and they're just trying to clear everything that comes their way. But yeah, I can see it being either you beating us like 3-1, as you said, or we get a goal, we nick it. Obviously, the obvious attacking threat that we have, Cristiano Ronaldo popping up with another winner for us or something. But that's how I see it. And that's what man like C says. He's like, well, he's saying 1-1 or winner takes it 3-1. But yeah, I don't know. It's basically what we're gonna see, and obviously the game is tomorrow. But we're gonna wrap it up right here. I want to big up my guy Darren for coming in and jumping on the stream, doing this preview with me. We're gonna see him on the channel for the UCL show in a couple of weeks, so look forward to that. But yeah, let the people know where they can find you and all of that.
So yeah, you can find me, obviously the handle just there. You find me on Twitter, Twitter Spaces. We're having football conversations. You might see me featuring on other YouTube videos, just having conversations like this. But just keep, shout out to Roland as well for having me here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this content, because obviously Roland, my guy, football knowledge on point, delivers every time, non-biased, objective, gives it how it is, and big up, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna be back in like hour and a half or so. Basketball tonight. The Bulls versus the Heat should be a good game. And then tomorrow, probably a match reaction after this game and all of that. But yeah, man, we are wrapping this up right now. And as Darren said, make sure you're liking this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that notification bell, share this on your socials, share it with your friends and all of that. And we are out. Peace.